In the lawsuit, they stated that Facebook and Instagram created prime locations for these predators that enabled child SA, solicitation and trafficking. The suit was brought after an undercover investigation allegedly revealed a myriad of instances of sexually explicit content being served to minors, coercion, or sales of children, and SA material, or CSAM. The suit also alleges that certain child exploitative content is 10 times more prevalent on Facebook and Instagram as compared to the site PH and adult content platforms such as OnlyFans. Quote, child exploitation is a horrific crime and online predators are determined criminals. A spokesperson stated that the company deploys sophisticated technology, hires child safety experts, reports content to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, and shares information and tools with other companies and law enforcement, including state attorney generals, to help root out predators. The New Mexico lawsuit follows coordinated legal actions against Meta by 42 other attorney generals in October. Those actions allege that Facebook and Instagram directly targeted and were addictive to teens and children. Mexico's suit, by contrast, alleges that Meta and Zuckerberg violated the state's Unfair Practice Act. The four-count suit alleges that the company and Zuckerberg engaged in unfair trade practices by facilitating the distribution of CSAM and the trafficking of minors and undermined the health and safety of New Mexican children. The lawsuit also urges that Meta's algorithm allegedly promotes sex and exploitation content to users and that Facebook and Instagram lack effective age verification. The suit also alleges that the company failed to identify child SE networks and to fully prevent users it has suspended for those violations from rejoining the platform using new accounts. Quote, in 1 month alone, we disabled more than 500,000 accounts for violating our child safety policies. I also stated, Mr. Zuckerberg and other Meta executives are aware of the serious harm their products can pose to young users, and yet they have failed to make sufficient changes to their platform that will prevent the sexual exploitation of children. New Mexico is seeking civil penalties and for Meta to implement effective age verification, improve its detection and removal system for CSAM, and address the alleged functionalities that amplify CSAM. Let me put it like this. As somebody who's been on this platform for the longest time possible, very much trying to advocate for children along with bringing up other issues, I believe fully in this lawsuit. And it's due to the fact of the way that the internet is implemented and how it is that a lot of these websites, they don't have age verification where it's like, okay, in order to be here, you gotta, submit ID and different. They don't have that, and they're not going to have it because they know that people would deem it or look at it as a hassle, right? A lot of people will be worried, like, oh, well, I ain't going to go to this website if I got to put in, my ID. I don't know what they're going to do with this information and yada, yada, yada. And 50% I understand what it is that people are stating. But at the end of the day, you got all of your information on Google. They sell information. They have sold information. Facebook, they've sold information. Everybody has sold information. So it's a little bit nonsensical in the sense to be worried about where your information is going. Also, thinking about all of the data breaches that have happened within the last 10 years, like Target and many other places, big, places that people shop at, use credit card, use debit cards, and everything like that. And your information is directly out there on the dark web. But everybody wants to decide to have an issue when a website is asking you for verification. Websites realistically should be asking for verification. But again, people aren't going to do it. Number one, everyday people are going to find it much of a hassle, which is crazy to me. And dealing with the fact that everybody has a smartphone and a camera, and it's not that difficult to age verify certain stuff. And it would, in a sense, make things a little bit safer and to easily track down individuals who decide that, oh, they want to, open up let's say a Facebook page or an Instagram, and they want to put up content dealing with kids and stuff. We now know who you are, dummy. We know exactly who you are. And like I said, Meta and a lot of these other sites, they know who these people are too. I can promise you, they have even more data tracking that they're not telling people specifically about, especially when it is that you log into your site. They have even more stuff that they're just not listing. But if they really wanted to out these people, put them on Front Street, they wanted to get them arrested, they wanted to serve all this information up to the FBI, CIA, whoever, they could easily do it. They're opting not to do it because realistically, out of all of those millions of profiles that they've, supposedly closed down, why didn't you hand all that paperwork over to the proper authorities? Why isn't all of this common knowledge? Why aren't we seeing some type of net being thrown to capture in, all of these people and the people that are associated with them? That's because they're showing you the people who are specifically into this stuff, and people are not even paying attention. People are not even paying attention. And I'll even take it a step further. And you have other platforms out here that will state that they're not going to directly promote videos that are talking about subjects such as this because it has to do with the advertisers. And if that's the fact, then somebody needs to be looking and questioning a lot of those advertisers, because I felt that if you're talking about something with a purpose, you're talking about trying to make things right, you're talking about trying to fix something, I thought that that's what companies technically would want to be associated with. They would want to, support that type of meaningful work. But all I'm hearing is that people are afraid to even be around it because it's going to, do whatever to their brand. It's not a good look or whatever. And again, if that's the case, and this is the way that companies are feeling, people need to start questioning, looking at those companies and start jotting those names down and stop supporting those companies. That's all I'm saying. Because it's crazy how a few out here are advocating and trying to bring awareness to this. And again, everybody else is completely silent. Literally. Look online, everywhere. How many celebrities you hear talking about, trying to save the kids, caring about the kids, getting laws and rules and regulations passed? How many active celebrities right now, out of the hundreds of thousands of celebrities that we got, how many of them are trying to push, put money in the pockets of legislation or legislators and trying to get them like, yo, we need this bill passed. We need this to actually take place to, try to, protect these kids. You're not really going to name anybody. You're not going to really name anybody. And then the people that you can name that's trying to make some changes and stuff like that, magically they got a mark directly on their name for whatever reason, or magically they cease to exist. So like I said, people are not paying attention to the real message that's being presented in front of everybody, which is it's one large party and you're not invited, which means that everybody knows everybody. You just don't know them. You might be able to see some things, you may be able to spot some things, but it is what it is. That's just how, the party, basically works. Everybody knows everybody.